guys, Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. Thanks for clicking on this video. We're going to talk about a blues arpeggio and how to take an arpeggio and what it is, for crying out loud, and how to turn it into improvised melodies, how they connect. And I hope it helps. Also, thanks for supporting my own thing here, Marty Music. If you haven't yet, I would really appreciate you subscribing here to the channel and clicking that bell notification. And then also checking the links below for great resources that will help you learn guitar even more. So that's it. Thanks. Let's do it. All right, let's think of a blues in the key of A. Just 3 dominant 7 chords. A7, D7, and E7. I'm going to show you the dominant 7 arpeggio. Yes, it's a fancy word. The arpeggio for A7, the arpeggio for D7, and the arpeggio for E7. They're the exact same thing. We're just going to switch them by the root. So I'm going to show you the arpeggio first, and I'm going to show you how an arpeggio becomes, can be the source of improvised playing over said chords. So an A7 arpeggio, we're going to put our middle finger on the root, A. Then we have what's called the major third of the chord, which is right here on the 4th fret. It's a C sharp. Then we're going to play 7th fret A, which is the 5th of the chord. Root, 3rd, 5th. Root, 3rd, 5th. That makes a major triad. Just 3 notes. A dominant 7 chord is 4 notes. It's the triad that we just played, but then also with the minor 7th interval, which is going to be a G note, and it's on the, for the A7. And so I'm playing my middle finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Okay, now what we get, if I'm going to extend it out, I'm going to switch my index finger to that note right there. Because we're going to finish the octave up of those same notes. So the root's right here on the 7th fret, then 6th fret G, then we're going to stay in this position and play the 5th, which is an E note, on the 5th fret of the B. It's also the 5th of the chord. You know, you see that classic F shape right there. So now we have the 7th again, which is going to be that G note, which is the 8th fret of the B string. And then we're going to do a stretch to that final major third up here, because eventually we're going to do things around that. So 5, 4, 7, 5, 7, 6, 5, 8, 5, 9. So those are the notes of an A7. So if I just played, so that's the arpeggio, right? Doesn't necessarily sound fully like a melody or an improvised guitar solo, but those are all the chord tones of A7. So when you go to the 4 chord, you can move it up here. And then back to the 1 again. Then the E7 arpeggio, you know, it's just based off the 12th fret. Same everything, the shape and the form is the same. All right, let's go back to the A arpeggio. And so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just hammer on or slide up to the major third through the arpeggio. So it's going to be sliding from 3 to 4 instead of just playing 4. So it's going to happen between the 5 and the 6 on the G. And look at the different fingerings. There's going to be different ways to finger it. All right, so then that's the same, but then you're going to do it here. So when you go descend the scale, you still slide up to the third from the flat. So I limited my note choices there to just the arpeggio, but with the slid or hammer-on major third from the flat, almost like a passing tone. So that's where that's coming from. Next, we can add the fourth, which is not part of the arpeggio, but it's a really nice suspended sound that gets resolved by that hammer-on. So it'd look like this. And so that 4 has a suspended feel, and it feels resolved sliding up to the 5th of the arpeggio or hammering to the major third. Now, the dominant 7, which is a G note, or the flat 7, happens to be, you know, a whole step below the root. So you also have this note. So you can try this. When we get up to that major third up here, it's actually, what you'll start to see is that it benefits better to think of the now extended minor pentatonic scale, but with those third hammer-on, adding the 4th, and then also adding the blues note as a passing tone. So you would have this. And there's different ways to play that. Sliding up or sliding back. And so now we'll leave the position and think of the extended scale. So 3, 5, 3 to hammer 4, then 5, then passing tone on 6, up to 7, then 5, 7 on the D, then hammer from that 5 to 6, 7, passing tone 8, 9, and then, which is the octave up of, we were earlier playing it in the arpeggio, but it can also be, which is 8 to 10. And then we're right at that major third hammer on. So 8 to 9 hammer, 10, 11, 12. So descending with the blues notes, really nice. 12, 11, 10 on the high E. Then that. So you could go 12, 11, 10, slide back to 8, hammer to 9. Then ring finger on that 9 of the G, same thing. Now, the good news is, so I was doing the exact same thing over the 3 chords, right? Playing the chord tones over the right chords. What's so cool about something that's bluesy, like a blues in A, is that you can play the A minor pentatonic over all 3 chords. So if you get lost over what chord you're supposed to be over, you're, blowing it, or you're just pushing yourself right to the edge of what your ability can be, you can always fall back right on the straight across A minor pentatonic, because the blues sounds good that way. A blues in A playing the A minor pentatonic, it's not always theoretically right for every tone, but the blues scale, it's the blues, it works. And then if you can start to, anytime fall back on the A minor pentatonic, but then challenge yourself to hit some chord tones from this little class we just did. So good luck. Hope you have fun. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Thank you again for the continued support. Once again, if you haven't, I appreciate you subscribing here to the Marty Music YouTube channel, clicking the bell notification, and then also checking the links below. Feel free to request stuff in the comments as well. And I hope to see you real soon. So take care.